Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to run and execute the DeepSeek model in your laptop, in your computer, regardless of operating system that you use. To begin with, so we can see this is a DeepSeek and we have like a different models, and there is a comparison between like, GPT, Cloudy, and also you can see the architecture, active parameters, etc, etc. So GPT doesn't really provide some of this stuff, but DeepSeek version 3, for example, is running a lot of these things. But that's not what we're going to do. We are going to download it and running it in our machine. If you also go to the GitHub, you can see that DeepSeek R1 is open source. You can have access to pretty much anything. There is also a comparison if you want to see, but I'll leave these things for you if you want to just read more. But what we're going to do is to go and install LM Studio AI. If you just Google it, the first website comes, or search for it. In fact, the first one is going to be lmstudio.ai, and you can download this software in your laptop. You can see there could be Windows or Mac and Linux. All of them are available. So let's just install the Windows one for now. Once the download is finished, we're going to run the setup file and we're going to get everything from there. So we're going to just install it for me only, install here. So when you open the app for the first time, you can choose a model to load a model and then start, using the model. So by default, it's suggesting to install like Llama 3.1 with 8 billion parameters, and it's going to be 4.92 gigabytes, the whole model. So let's just download it for now and see how it goes. Depends on your internet speed. It might take a few seconds to finish, or a few minutes, but for me it's going to be like around maybe 2 minutes with this internet speed. Okay, we can do something else as well. So while you're downloading this one, let's go and have a look for DeepSeek. So DeepSeek R1. As you can see, we're gonna have like pretty much a lot of them, but the R1 with 7 billion of parameters, it's downloadable. But if you want, for example, to look for R1, a little bit bigger one, so 8B, you can see we are done. We can run this one in this computer as well. But if you go a little bit bigger, for example, I'll go with a 14 billion one. Actually, it's here. R1 14 billion. Still my computer can run this one. Even you can run it in this machine, but it says partial GPU offload possible. So you can run it, but not very efficient as you might expect. Okay, the download is finished, but let's have a look at the different ones. So I'm going to make this one a little bit bigger, and you can see we have like a 70 billion one. If you look at the 70 billion one, and if you try to open it, it says likely too large for this machine, so you cannot run it. And if I want to just check my my computer like spec, you can see so I'm going to close this one for now, and let's close this one. And if we are going to where is the setting? Okay, let's click here, and on a hardware, so I'm running everything on a 4060 NVIDIA 4060, and then I have like a quite good amount of RAM here available. But as you saw in our search, if you want to run, for example, 32 billion parameters, I might just have some struggles. And if I go even bigger one like 70B, very likely I'm not going to be able to run it. But what we want is just the 7B, for example. You can see I can run pretty much any of them. There are different algorithms, but I am going to download this one as well. So let's have a look. I'm going to be here. It's going to be full GPU offload possible, so I should be able to run it. Let's run this one as well. So behind the scene, this is going to run, download the file as well. So it's going to be again 4 gigabytes, around 4.68 gigabyte. But Llama 3.1 is already downloaded. We can load it, but also if you want to see how it looks, you can check it. It's open in a file explorer, and if you go here, you can see Meta Llama 3.1. This is the file that we just downloaded it. Okay, I'm going to close this one. the same is going to be for the other studio as well. So let me close this one. It's going to download behind the scene. I'm going to close this one here. We can select all the downloaded ones. So let's choose, for example, Llama 3.1, and you can just have the GPU offload, context length, so we can change any of them, but regardless, let's just load it. It is loading on the top, and once it's loading, I'm also going to show you the task manager. You can see what's going to happen in, you can see the load on the GPU on the processor. So, and okay, so let's have a look at the GPU as we run everything side by side. I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller. Okay, so do you like to play ping pong? Just very simple one. I'm a large language model, but not really. Okay. Also, let's look at the CPU. CPU is a little bit, just using it. If you go to GPU, our GPU is also, it's a little bit used. Tell me more about yourself. Okay, the moment we start using it, we can see the GPU is going up. Also, my CPU is the same thing. So a lot of things are being used here. But behind the scene, you can see our DeepSeek R1 is also loaded. I'm going to load the model. It's going to be loaded here again. Okay, let's just ask the same thing. Tell me more about yourself. So it's thinking or initializing. It's gonna take a few seconds to run it, but that is with like 7 billion parameters. It might be a little bit slow at the beginning, but I think we're gonna get it there in a few seconds. Come on, show us something. Okay, thoughts for 18. But wait a second, I'm AI, right? So when they say yourself, do they mean da 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 da? Let me just close it. Okay, so when you ask, it'll give you the answer. It might take a few seconds as well. You can see the first token took this much. And who, let's say, built you? You can see again, my CPU is being used quite a lot. And if you go to GPU, the GPU is also used. I'm developed by DeepSeek in 2023. Do you think I should use you as my primary AI or chat? Oh, actually, let's say GPT. Let's see what is it going to give us. You can see GPU is ramping up because it's really trying to give the answer here. Even with 7 billion, I found it a little bit slow, but still, it's okay. That's a thoughtful question. The choice between AI like GPT and, okay, why GPT? Decision point. Okay, ultimately, everything seems to be fine, but this is just how you're going to run everything in your machine. It's not going to go outside, even if you turn off, like, the internet still is going to work because data is not really leaving your computer. It's running everything in your machine. Is it the safest one? Probably not. We can run it in Docker and everything should work as well. As mentioned, another way to run the DeepSeek is through Docker. So let's just make sure our Docker is installed. If you get this prompt, means it's installed and we can run it very easily. So let's just look for Ollama Docker. And then the first thing, which is in ollama.com, is where you are going to run the Docker. So let's just quickly get everything, copy it, and then come back here. I'm going to just clear, and I'm going to run Ollama. So it cannot find it locally. It's going to download everything. It's going to be 1.5 gigabytes. So once the download is finished, what we have to do, it's just going to run whatever, the model that we want. And if you click here, Ollama library, you can see we can run DeepSeek R1. So I'm just going to copy this one as well. Okay, let's have a look once it's finished. Happy day. So if I do docker ps, we can see we are running Ollama. And if I copy, if I copy everything and then docker exec Ollama, and we are not going to run llama, we are going to run DeepSeek -R1. Hello. Can you tell me more about yourself? I'm going to bring my, again, task manager. You can see how much GPU and CPU is going to be used. Tell me more. Can I use this model instead of GPT-4? So while it's giving the answer, you can see again the CPU is ramping up, as well as my GPU as well. It's 91%. So in these two ways, you can just run a DeepSeek either through LM Studio, which is available on all operating systems, or you can run it through Ollama Docker, and then through the Docker you can just run any model that you want. This is two ways to run DeepSeek R1 in your laptop or computer by Docker or LM Studio, and hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.